In today's episode, we're going to be reacting to some of the strangest videos that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
Everyone's just finding out that Interstellar is real. Yeah. In the movie Interstellar, which most of you have probably seen, there's this planet called Miller's Planet. Now, if you remember in the movie, when they go to this planet, you can hear the clock ticking in the background, which is like a day on Earth. Specifically, 1 hour on Miller's Planet is 7 years on Earth. But now people have just found out that there's a real-life version of Miller's Planet, which could have life on it right now. This is Kepler 22b, which is like 500 light years away. It would take about 1 million years for us to get to now, so you won't be going there anytime soon. But this planet is very similar to Miller's Planet. It looks as though it is just water. There doesn't look to be that much land. Although scientists have been saying for a while it could be habitable. No thanks. Unless you want to sleep on a lilo in the middle of the ocean for your whole life, go ahead. But they do say there could potentially be life here from the small photos and visions we've had of this planet. Although when they say life, they don't mean full-blown aliens, they mean microscopic creatures which could be living under the oceans there, which of course is possible. But crazier again with this planet, reportedly it has a similar time dilation to the Miller's Planet, where an hour on this planet could be 2 days at home. Which, yeah, could be true, but also time dilation is real. We know that that does exist in space. If we theoretically had the speed of light and you travelled out into space for, say, a year, you'd come back and people could be 5 years older. So it's definitely possible. People have been talking about this planet and other crazy discoveries recently a lot, so hit that follow button and I'll keep you updated.
I find it so hard to believe that scientists get these theories just from a speck of light through a telescope. Truthfully, I feel like I could point at a random star and say, if that star has water on it, there's probably life in that water. It's just crazy to me that we come up with that scientific theory. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, I think it's cool, don't get me wrong. It's just so hard to believe. But that's why I'm not a scientist.
Horror frog.
What if you crossed a werewolf with a poisonous frog?
I don't recommend it.
You'd end up with the horror frog, or sometimes called the hairy frog. Now, if you came across one of these, you don't want to touch it. Gerald Durrell was a famous TV host and naturalist who learned this the hard way. When this frog is grabbed or attacked, it breaks its own toes and forces the sharp bones through its skin to create claws. And that skin, it regenerates. Oh yes, it's also been called the Wolverine frog.
I'd like to buy this man a drink.
It even starts out dangerous. Its tadpoles are muscular, carnivorous, and feature several rows of teeth. Terrifying from day one.
Well, if I came across one of those, I wouldn't want to touch it.
If what the CIA knows about Mars is true, I definitely wouldn't want to tell anyone what happened there either. I'm sure you've heard of the declassified 1984 time travel mission they went on to the Red Planet 1 million years into the past. If you haven't, then well, they did. And here's the official report, and yes, it's on the CIA's website. Now this was a remote viewing mission, meaning they hired a professional psychic to astral project himself to Mars and tell them what he saw, which admittedly sounds like hocus pocus, but they did release other documents called the Gateway Process that sort of tells us astral projection is kinda real. And to be fair, they didn't even tell the psychic where they were sending him, but what he saw confirms exactly what they were expecting. But remote viewing in general is still just a hard pill to swallow, I agree with you. Well, what if this wasn't the first time they visited Mars, because they already sent a manned mission to the Red Planet 10 years before that. Project Red Sun is the rumored joint mission between the United States and the Soviet Union that claims to have done just that. As the Cold War was ramping up in the 60s and 70s, both nations had come to terms that global thermonuclear war would be a little catastrophic to say the least. So they allegedly launched a covert, super ultra top secret black op project to plan a backup civilization on Mars. After NASA allegedly went to the moon from 1969 to 1972, Project Red Sun tells us they didn't stop there. In 1973, they launched a secret mission from a facility in the Amazon jungle, as far away from usual launch sites as possible in order to keep it hidden. A manned mission with a full crew that was sent on the Interplanetary Space Vehicle, the ISV Columbus. A little over 5 months of space travel later, they landed on Mars and even took videos of the entire journey, which were obviously all super highly classified and never shown to the public. A convenient excuse until they got leaked. In 2011, Italian journalist Luca Scantamburlo revealed in a press conference that Project Red Sun was real, with testimonials and emails from people directly involved. The journalist shows what he claimed to be real photos leaked by a Project Red Sun whistleblower from the surface of Mars, taken by astronauts who were there. Some of them even feature signs of civilization, with one of them showing a step pyramid in the background on Mars. He insists they're real, but I mean, come on, blurry photos with a red filter can easily be faked, and clearly NASA has denied them all. But then the journalist drops this, an alleged leaked video of the entire Project Red Sun mission. We see a card that introduces the spacecraft, the ISV Columbus, in 1973. Astronauts floating in the cabin as they log their journey to the red planet. There's a shot that shows the Earth and Moon far away in the distance as we get to day 100. Then day 158, and we see it. The spacecraft approaches what appears to be Mars in classic shaky cam footage. It gets nearer, and we see Mars' signature landmarks and reddish colors start to show. ISV Columbus gets closer and closer, showing more of Mars' terrain, polar ice caps, and craters in the shots. Then they descend to the surface, which the video does appear extremely blurry here, but it's also kind of exactly what we got with the moon landings. It touches down, and we see some weird thing crawling on or maybe under the surface, and the video ends. Apparently there's much more, but this is all that got leaked. But my friends, as much as I would love for this to be real, it turns out this video is almost definitely fake. Taken from other NASA missions to the moon, stitched and compiled together with satellite footage from Mars to make it look like people actually landed there. And the photos would have been even easier to fake. Just take moon landing photos, make them blurry, and apply red filters to them. Wait a minute, did I just debunk myself? Hold up, the real big question here is why would NASA even want to cover up arguably humanity's greatest achievement and not brag to the world about it? Well, in 1971, they took their first ever close-up photos of the surface of Mars from their Mariner 9 spacecraft. Over 7,000 images covering about 85% of Mars' surface. So if something was there, they saw it. In 1972, just a year later, NASA publicly ends their totally real moon landing Apollo program. Another year after that is 1973, when Project Red Sun to Mars is said to have taken place. Did they see something in those satellite photos they didn't want the public to know about? Then cancel the Apollo program to covertly send humans to Mars to check it out? Was the infamous face on Mars just the tip of the iceberg they accidentally let slip out? If there was evidence of something like a civilization that existed on Mars that got wiped out, I can promise you the government would not want the public to know about that, because that's exactly what they found out during the CIA's remote viewing mission of Mars in 1984, which, unlike the highly rumored Project Red Sun, is totally real and fully declassified. Back when the CIA was dabbling with psychic warfare in the middle of their Project Stargate, where they worked with psychics and attempted to gather intel through astral projection and such. This is the science of remote viewing, where a psychic is induced into a susceptible state to see exactly what's happening somewhere and when else. So they got this guy, Joel McGonigal, a decorated intelligence officer on the ESP spectrum, to go on one of their most important missions. Joe went into a room with a researcher and was given a sealed envelope which was his destination, and was asked to describe what he saw without looking into the envelope. He saw, get ready for this, tall pyramids, large obelisks, and a tall, thin, shadowy people who appeared to be dying. After the test, he opens the envelope to see that it reads, the planet Mars, 1 million years BC, exactly where he remote viewed into. It's also interesting why the CIA would choose 1 million BC as their time of destination. Like, wouldn't it be more interesting and practical to see what's there right now? Unless, of course, they already did know from a certain Project Red Sun, where they saw firsthand what's really there and decided to go back in time to see what it used to be. During these tests, Joe claims to have seen a past civilization, a dying race of people who were devastated by some global catastrophe, one that appeared to have been destroyed by nuclear warfare, and we even have scientific evidence for it. In 2012, when Curiosity landed on Mars, chemical analysis revealed that the top layer of Martian soil contained high amounts of xenon-129, and the only thing on Earth that creates this isotope of xenon are nuclear explosions. Every time we've tested nukes on Earth, we see traces of xenon-129 in the ground around it. Martian soil contained amounts 2.5 times higher than what we have on Earth. Physicist Dr. John Brandenburg adamantly stands by the theory that an ancient Martian civilization was destroyed by nuclear war, claiming that nuclear weapons experts confirm the signatures found in Martian soil could have only resulted from nukes and no other process can produce that. He also found 2 hot spots on Mars that had abnormally high radiation levels, with the level of xenon in the soil indicating this is where the nukes were dropped and would have been around 1,000 megatons each. For comparison, the largest nuke ever tested, the Tsar Bomba by the Soviet Union, was 50 megatons. Dating the xenon isotopes in the ground shows that these nukes would have been detonated about 200 million years ago. We have substantial evidence that Mars had water and an atmosphere many hundreds of millions of years ago, and we don't exactly know what happened to it. Perhaps a civilization once existed there who either destroyed themselves with nuclear weapons or, even worse, were visited by another race who did. And if that is the case, what's stopping that other race from coming back?
I have been seeing those Project Red Sun videos floating around TikTok. I automatically just assumed that they were fake, like found footage type of videos, but it would not surprise me that they probably did try to send some people in the past to Mars or other planets. There's probably some people floating out in space still waiting for their mission to be completed. And the remote viewing thing, that's pretty crazy to me. To have an envelope that says Mars a million years ago, and for someone to not know what's in that envelope, I just don't know if I necessarily believe that story. And I mean, or if anything, that person, that remote viewer, could have just been extremely lucky, and he kind of went in the direction that they wanted to hear. That's also a good possibility, because how many other people passed that test? 1 out of 100 people would be a pretty high odds, I would think. I'm guessing something like that. But I do like the nuclear theory of other planets being destroyed through nuclear war. But let me know what you guys think about all of this. This is some pretty cool stuff, I'm not gonna lie. It's very fun to theorize about. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. For everyone that's currently watching and or subscribed, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel.
Netflix, you sly devil, you. So Black Mirror put out 2 versions of season 7 episode 2, which already is like a mind f. Like during the whole episode I was like, I swore, what? I was feeling as crazy as the lead character in the episode, which this is one of my favorite episodes already of the season. The first episode was kind of gut-wrenching, oh my gosh, and it felt almost like too real, like it could actually happen. Anyway, this is a freaking genius level marketing. The fact that everyone is talking to each other like, wait, no, I thought it was Barney's, and no, I thought it was Bernie's. And the fact that it also connects to, this is like, think where somebody worked in another season, in another episode. I have to look it up which one it is, but I think it's connected. You know, they do some connections here and there. But anyway, this is, please, somebody else. I need to talk about this with somebody.
I have seen so much stuff about Black Mirror on TikTok. The marketing for this show has gone crazy. And I'm kind of interested. A little bit from here and there that I've seen, it seems like an interesting show. I have never seen Black Mirror. And I've had a lot of people say that I probably should really watch it, that I would like it. It's one of those mind-bending, kind of crazy, like what's going on type of shows. But unfortunately, I do not have Netflix. I've not had Netflix for quite a while, but I have been thinking about it. They added an anime on Netflix that I kind of want to watch. It's Devil May Cry, and I hear a lot of people saying that that was actually a really good anime. And being a fan of the video game series and the old anime, I really want to check it out, and it's only on Netflix. So let me know, do you guys think that Black Mirror is actually worth checking out if I do get Netflix, or is it a pass?
Gen X, we've got a brand new Mandela effect. This is not a movie, literally something we know is fact. Before bringing it to you guys, I even ran it by my coffee girl this morning. I told her what was actually truth that we know today. Let's establish what we know as fact. We all know this is the daddy longlegs. We were also taught it's the most venomous spider on the planet. Incisors are too small to break through your skin, so we didn't have to worry about them. That's the way I remember it. But then I headed over to Google. See at the top, I Googled, are daddy longlegs poisonous? No, daddy longlegs are not poisonous or venomous to humans. And this is where I want you to start commenting. It's a bad education system. Where did we learn that they were the most poisonous spider on the planet? I headed back to Google. They're known as harvestmen. These are arachnids that are not spiders. They have a single body segment, 2 eyes, and lack fangs and venom glands. So their fangs aren't just too small to puncture the skin. They don't even have them. And you can't be a poisonous spider if you don't have venom glands. Where did this all start? Or is this a Mandela effect? But as of right now, I'm starting to question everything that we were taught in school. Where do you stand on this?
I personally cannot say that I was taught that information in school. Now, I know exactly what this guy is talking about. I was told by people that daddy longlegs were some of the most poisonous spiders. It's just they were so small that they couldn't bite you. But that information was never told to me by anyone that was educated on insects, spiders, or creatures like that. It was always told to me by like aunts and uncles and grandparents. And as far as I know, none of them were really in the field of knowing bugs. So I don't know if this is necessarily a Mandela effect or just a really bad case of misinformation or disinformation from people that just didn't know what they were talking about and they were just having a good laugh. But the real question is how did that spread so wide across America here at least? So let me know, for anyone that's familiar with daddy longlegs or harvestmen spiders, Were you ever told that they were the most poisonous spiders, that they just couldn't hurt you because they were so small? Because I sure was.
Some unseen force seems to grab Natalie's son by his ankle and pull him right off the bed. The boy cries, and as if he is speaking to someone that we can't see, he says, "I don't like it. No." Natalie says that her son then ran into their bedroom crying and said that there was a man in his room. Obviously, we can see that there was no man in his room. So just who or what pulled the boy's leg? Lately, strange things have been happening in their home. Natalie says that recently they have been doing renovations in their older house, and she believes that all of the activity might have disturbed something in the home, something dark and sinister. One night while her son is sleeping, this happens.
Now, I sat here for quite a while replaying this back and watching it because this is a fairly convincing video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
This is Monument Valley on the corner of Utah and Arizona, United States. Now, if you notice, these are cut blocks in the ground. And I've been trying to tell y'all that ancient people had technology that they don't tell us about. So how did these blocks happen naturally? I know there's going to be someone that drops in the comments and defends the Matrix programming to try to explain how this is natural. These cuts, look at that cut. Look at these cuts all throughout the land here. You can see it's pre-cut. Y'all are seeing what I'm seeing, right? These cuts, it starts at the edge, and then it goes all the way through here, even down up in here. And on the right side where my finger you can't see my finger, but over there too. This looks like somebody took a pizza cutter and just pre-sliced the pizza. So you just grab your piece. That's what that looks like. This is pre-flood. The reason why we know it's pre-flood is because there are fossilized sea creatures all up in this whole area on these rocks, these cubes and stuff. So they were building something back then, and then the flood came, and this is the evidence. This is not natural. This is not natural, okay? Let's continue. We wouldn't even know about this unless this independent guy found this stuff. This is a cube. Look at those dimensions. Right angles. How did they do this? How did they do this? How did they cut the earth like that? Laser technology, people. I'm trying to tell you, ancient people had mad tech. And we're impressed with the iPhone. Okay? They cut the earth like this. And it's like, what were they building? Stuff like the pyramids and stuff, monoliths is what they were building. So what is the point of this video? The point of this video is to get you to question the mainstream information and question what you're being told, because they conveniently forgot to tell us about this in school. They skipped that part. All right. Intelligent human beings, probably with the Nephilim giants, were cutting these blocks out to build monoliths and temples and all kinds of stuff back in the day. But they didn't tell us about this. Why? Why are they hiding that? Question what you're being told. My natural position, if I hear some major story, something happened and it was caused by this, I immediately doubt the cause. I immediately doubt the reason as to why it happened. Okay? And they're going to tell you that the pyramids were built by hand chiseling rocks out of the mountainside, perfect cubes, to build the pyramids and stuff like that. No, they used technology like lasers. And who knows how they hoisted these up? They probably had some anti-gravity stuff.
And I looked this video up specifically, and it's a video on Reddit from YouTube, but there's not really much information being talked about this. It is pretty interesting. I don't know if it's a quarry of some sort. I really do not know what that is. I would like to know, because it's really cool looking, and it looks like it goes under the ground. It looks like most of that ground is actually those cubes. If anyone has any information on this, please let me know in the comments, because I would like to look into this a little bit further on exactly what is this, or hear other people's theories about it, because it's pretty interesting looking.
You really think NS31 is just some random letters and numbers? Gotta talk about this. My name's Nightfall, by the way. I do this for educational and entertainment purposes only. As we all know, this isn't just a random symbol either. So unfortunately, N is the 14th number in the alphabet and S is the 19th. 14 plus 19 is 33. 3 plus 3 is 6. Did you happen to notice who all the faces are staring at too in the middle? So also, there was 4 white women that went, and there was 2 black women. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then I don't know if you noticed the 6 symbols in all the corners next to their names, but then there's a 7th symbol right here. You see this one? For some reason, there's this extra 7th symbol. It's not a star because it's much bigger than just the normal stars that are over here. Let me know down in the comments if you guys know what these symbols mean. It does make me just a little nervous why there's that extra symbol in there. What, did something come back? So I don't have this thing fully decoded yet or anything, but don't forget to follow. I'm not even saying anything. I'm just pointing stuff out.
This and that Black Mirror stuff has been all over TikTok, all over the internet, really. There's some really interesting theories coming out of it, but ultimately, I just think that it's rich people doing rich people things. I don't really know if there's anything sinister going on, but who knows? Everything is crazy right now, so let me know what you guys think in the comments.
With all the UFO excitement beginning April 12th, something was almost overlooked. And that something happened on the night of April 13th, 2025. This comes from a witness named Darden out of North Arlington, New Jersey. He captures a UFO that we have never seen before. This is different. This is weird. And it's leaving everybody with questions as to what is it and who does it belong to? Because this looks like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Take a look at this. Tell me what you think. Comment below.
I cannot tell what that is. It kind of looks like a big bird or a bat maybe, but it kind of also looks like a piece of trash just floating through the wind. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on this one, because that one I'm not sure. And for anyone that knows this content creator, her name is the Paranormal Chick. She unfortunately is currently battling with kidney cancer, and she's trying to get enough money for her hospital expenses. So she does have a GoFundMe set up. I'll put it in the link of the description of this video, so if anyone wants to help support her, you'll see it under GoFundMe. And with that being said, I hope the best for her, because that's just got to be a really sucky thing to go through. So keep her in your best wishes, everyone.
Ancient ruins in Burma have popped out of the ground after an earthquake in what is now Myanmar. Okay, this is wild because Burma is actually gorgeous and they have a really rich culture. And unlike many other governments, the Burmese government gave the okay to excavate quickly after these were discovered. They're just starting, but this place is believed to be a palace and it is huge. Myanmar is known for the pagoda. This guy would have been the biggest one if the king that had commissioned it didn't die and an earthquake didn't take a lot of it out. But right behind it, you'll see what it would have looked like if it was finished. I'm not going to begin to try and pronounce that name, but the place is beautiful. Unfortunately, it was also damaged in this earthquake. But the form they use to build these temples is an advanced geometric concept called the Ford Circle. And the best example of this is their crowning achievement, the Shui Dagon Pagoda. Head to toe in gold, inside and out, the thing's an absolute unit. Locals say it's 2,600 years old, so we're gonna go with that. You gotta take a minute and realize how crazy this architecture actually is, though. The Ford Circle can be used to perfectly break up harmonic ratios in music. It is a fractal, meaning you can zoom into it as much as you want and the form will stay the same. You can even rotate it and the form will stay the same. It is also one of the only hyperbolic fractals. That's advanced geometry. It's used in deep learning for AI models. Also used in signal processing, and if we travel through a black hole, we have to use that geometry to navigate it, unless you are an Egyptian. There's a mathematical theory of everything called E8, and if you flatten it, it's the same shape as that pagoda. Myanmar is right between India and Cambodia. All three use harmonics in their architecture. Using new acoustic analysis tools and LiDAR, we are seeing so much stuff that is far more advanced than we ever thought, which makes new stuff like this even more exciting. And in 10 days, all of my previous work on all of this stuff will be completely eclipsed by my new project. New temple analysis, celestial mechanics, ancient theories of reality with my pictures and their pictures. If these guys were using some crazy spiritual technology of some sort, we should figure that out, and I'm here for it.
I really cannot wait to see further development of that because that's cool. And I do not know for the life of me why we are not doing more LiDAR scanning than we currently are. We should be scanning all of these old places to see what's underground. Like the Grand Canyon, for example. That needs to be LiDAR'd intensely. The walls, the flooring needs to be studied because I know they're going to discover some amazing things out in the Grand Canyon one day. But as far as these ancient Burmese ruins, I would like to see some more development on this for sure. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for sticking around and watching these clips with me. And with that being said, have a good day.